assalamu alaikum, good morning, khushamdeed, ji ayanu, goeiemorgen, pakhair ragale, washmale, shunishum, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome and good morning to this morning, which is a Hashmi, on a very chilly and cold Tuesday morning, ladies and gentlemen. Well, lately I feel like it's become a norm of us introducing the morning as chilly and cold because it is in so many parts of Pakistan, because it already started snowing in the northern areas as well, which is why this westerly wave is going to persist all over the country too. It's been raining here in the Twin Cities since yesterday and probably today as well. I have been told from Multan, my parents reside there, that it's been raining there as well. So this spell of cold is, well, as much as it is fun, it's super lethargic for us. Like, it literally makes you stay in bed for such a long time because it's so cold outside. It restricts you from doing anything fun. Other than that, I think it's all, it's good. It's better than a hot summer. I really absolutely hate summer. Well, I really hope all of you are safe out there as well and healthy out there as well, because whenever it is cold, of course, a lot of viral thingies are going on as well. And for people like me who have a weak immune system, you catch these thingies so fast that you really have to stay in bed for such a long time, like a week or so. So I just really hope that you all are healthy. Please pray for me, my entire team as well. Well, it's just been, 7 days into the new year, and a lot of things have been happening in the world already. The political scenario has been changing too, but I feel like that is not what we're going to talk about. This is a breakfast show. I'll be considerate of that, and thus we will be talking about everything light and fun happening in the world. And to begin with, let's talk about the Golden Globes. Oh, before that, I have to take you back to the weather thingy, because when I was traveling to work in the morning, my car windows were steamed and there was literally zero visibility because, of course, I already mentioned it's been raining and there's a lot of fog as well. So please, everyone, whoever is traveling in the morning or night hours, be safe. If you're traveling on the motorway, be sure to check from their helpline as well if it's safe to travel as well. Oh, here are the visuals too. From the Twin Cities, you see such a beautiful picturesque view, to be honest, but it's so cold if you're there in real. And it's been snowing in the northern areas, as I've already mentioned as well, which is why it is so cold over here. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, what's been happening in the world, it is Golden Globes. The 77th awards happened. This was probably yesterday or day before as well. It is always really exciting for me because I love recognition of art in any form, right? And this specifically, this is actually belongs to, the screenplays and movies and whatnot, everything belonging to the big screen, Hollywood internationally too. So this was hosted by, well, the monologue was by Ricky Gervais. He's a British comedian and I am probably one of his biggest fans. Well, he did the opening for 3 straight years, and because he's so funny and a little offensive, he was taken off the board, but now he returned with a bang, and I think it was amazing as well. These are some of the visuals. Well, Ellen DeGeneres, who is the most famous person, to be honest, I think all around the globe, got a lot of recognition. She had a Lifetime Achievement Award as well. And among others, I think because a lot of people were really, waiting to watch the movie Joker as well and appreciating the content of it too, I think it is very happy for me to say and to watch that Joaquin Phoenix, so sorry, I'm out of breath. Joaquin Phoenix, the lead actor for Joker, actually got the Best Actor in a Drama Movie award. And I think well-deservedly so. For whoever watched the movie, the performance, oh my God, it just sweeps you off your feet. It is literally, yes, depressing, but it stays with you for so many days. You literally think about the movie, the performance that both of the actors, actually everyone in the movie portrayed, the storyline and everything. So, if you are actually a weak-hearted person, do not watch the movie. But if you really want to enjoy a piece of art, this is the one you should watch. 1979 was the movie which won the Best Movie for the year. This is directed by Sam Mendes. And the favorite part of the movie for me is Benedict Cumberbatch. He is also one of the actors. Well, this is sort of an epic story from World War I. I'm not going to define the storyline for you. Probably during, this segment, we're going to watch one of the trailers of these movies as well. So this was the Golden Globes for you, ladies and gentlemen. For all those who didn't know the updates, I just gave you some. Well, the Australian bushfires now, coming on to them, because just yesterday Shahzad and I were speaking about them as well. Around 5 million animals have been burnt alive in those fires. And the worst thing was, we know koala bears, right? Everyone loves them. We already know that they were on the verge of extinction, and now they're functionally extinct because of these massive fires. I absolutely hate that we are a part of the age where the sixth massive extinction in the world is going on, and we are witnessing it. I mean, it's really scary to see. Oh my God, look at the blood orange skies. This is just because of the massive fires going on. And I really hope all the people, all the animals, everyone being affected by it is safe out there. And a lot of people from all around the world are sending their aid, doing a lot of philanthropy as well. Really happy to see that. All right, well, these were just some of the updates I just really felt like sharing with you early in the morning. But coming to what we are talking about today. A lot of people I know from universities, probably graduating from their bachelor's as well, thinking to pursue their master's or probably PhD even abroad, they really have to go through one test, which I've heard a lot of you have heard as well. It's called IELTS. So this basically tests your English speaking and writing skills. We will definitely dig into the details of this, but just to begin with, I think this test is recognized by more than 10,000 educational institutions all over the world. And if you pass this, I think you sort of pass the entry test for a lot of universities. Is it true? Is it not? This is what we're going to ask this amazing linguist and educationist we have over here in the studio with me, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome Sana Khattak. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to my show, Sana.
Thank you.
All right, so you are also the CEO of Language House. This is a
Yes.
training company that you started yourself.
Yes, I
and
did.
you've been training a lot of students ever since. Now I'm going to take you back in time. When did you decide, first of all, to become a linguist? And why a linguist? I mean, this is very interesting. But for someone who aspires to be a linguist for so long, how did it start?
Well, I would say I was always interested in languages.
Okay.
As in my 5th grade, when I was given the option to learn Arabic or to learn computers, so I went for Arabic.
Oh, wow.
So
Interesting.
I had the interest in languages. So my master was in English literature.
Wow.
And after exploring literature, I thought that now I should go towards language functionality.
Right.
So I first did a diploma course, TEFL, where I got know-how of how language functions, and I
Okay.
got so interested that I pursued my MPhil in English linguistics.
Oh, perfect.
So that was the beginning of a proper linguist for me.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. And now specifically talking about IELTS, because you train a lot of students to pass the test of IELTS as well. Let us know what IELTS stand for. I do know, but probably I'll make it. I mean, I'll take a wrong go, so I'm going to let her do it. And also, I know that more than 140 countries accept this test. Is it true or
Yes,
not?
they do. They do. So there's a funny thing. Most of the people talk about IELTS. They call it IELTS.
Okay.
So I'd like to correct
It's
everyone.
okay. It's a mispronunciation, ladies and
yes,
gentlemen. It's
it
not
is.
IELTS.
Yes, it's IELTS. It's International English Language Testing System.
All right.
Yeah, and as you said, it is recognized by most of the countries in the world.
All right, but okay, we do understand that when you're speaking about, migration, or even if you have to move as a student for work, for any purpose, for family reasons as well, you need to know at least the native language for some sort of communication. I think every now and then we discuss on the show as well that there are some countries in the world where you go and the people are so really rigid about their language, they will just not communicate with you. Like this, I'm going to say Germany, please don't hate me, but to be honest, because this is a first-hand example. If you need help with a vase or anything, even if the people do know English, they will not help you because they probably want to promote their own language. That's great.
do.
But why are we recognizing English, first of all? Let's say unofficially as the language of the world? And why do we have to pass IELTS actually to get into any university? Shouldn't it be a native language of that particular country?
It can be, but the thing is, English has acquired the status of lingua franca around the world.
Right.
And it is the language with the greatest body of knowledge.
Okay.
So yes, it does become important to learn English language, and because it has naturally acquired that status, it is important for students around the world to learn this language in order to pursue a degree which essentially is in English language.
Well, I do understand that, and I think you're totally right as well, so I will agree with that. So now I'm going to ask you some basic question about IELTS, which a lot of students out there, if you're watching, I'm pretty sure these are on your mind. So to begin with, is it okay for you to let us know the entire fee and the process of applying for it?
Yes, all the fee structure is clearly visible on British Council website. Let me
Okay.
tell you that IELTS is regulated by 3 bodies, University of Cambridge, British Council,
Okay.
and IDP Australia. These are the 3 main bodies that regulate that, and
Okay.
all on the websites of all these 3 entities, you will find the fee structure clearly visible. So for the common IELTS, general or academic, the fee is 29,000. I checked it a few days back. Due to the change in taxes or
Right.
time, it
And the
can
dollar
change a
prices
little
are-
bit. Yeah, it can change. But as far as my knowledge, it is 29,000 for general and academic in Islamabad and Lahore and Karachi. From province to province, it can also be slightly different.
Oh, okay.
Only for IELTS life skills, which is for spouses, the fee is 38,500.
Oh, all right. So there are, now you mentioned there are some different types of tests. You said general,
Yes, there
academic,
are.
and this life skills
Life
as well.
skills.
Let us know what are the differences and who should go for what.
Okay, so if you're just going for immigration, you'll have to do IELTS general.
Okay.
And if you're going for a proper degree or a postgraduate program, which is a serious one, then you should go for IELTS academic.
All right.
Most of the universities mention that which type of IELTS they require. If you're going just as a spouse and you have to stay at home, then you take IELTS life skills.
Okay.
It only checks your spoken and listening skills. The other two, they check all the 4 skills: listening, speaking, reading, and writing.
Okay, so I think you very beautifully mentioned, thank you for saying that, because this was the confusing part as well for me, along with a lot of other people as well. So if you are just going to settle over there, maybe as a spouse, or maybe just going to join your family over there, you require the life skill test, which is just going to contain the spoken and the listening part of it. You really don't have to do a written test and, clear the exam. You don't have to. But if you're going to work over there, right, and study over there as well, then there's general and academic. You mentioned 4 different parts of tests. Let's look at them one by one. And is it really hard, first of all?
It's not hard, but
Okay.
remember that Pakistan was once a colonial country.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So we still have that colonial mind, and we most of the people get really nervous while talking about or while talking in English.
Okay.
So they have higher test anxieties.
All right. So it's
That
not
is
the test
reason
that
it
is actually
becomes-
hard,
yeah,
right?
It's not the test. It's definitely not the test. It's about test anxiety which people have in their mind.
Oh, okay. So let's go through the process now. The first test is writing, is it?
Yes?
Writing is the first test?
No. First is listening. You
All
hear
right.
a few audios, like 3 to 4 audios, and then you'll have to answer like 40 MCQs,
Okay.
which can be fill in the blanks or stuff. So it's really easy.
Yeah.
And after listening comes the reading part, where
Okay.
again you have 3 passages and you have to answer 40 MCQs.
Okay.
And after reading, you get to the writing part. Writing part is also very easy. You'll get a bar chart or a pie chart. You'll have to just analyze
Explain
it
it,
in
okay.
20 minutes in the written form. And the last one is an essay.
All right.
And that checks your thinking skills as well, how you think and how well you perform.
All
So
right. So I
that's
think
all.
the
And
4 yeah, please
sorry,
go.
I forgot the spoken test. Spoken is just an interview of like 14 to 16 minutes, and it's about a little bit of narration. You have to explain an event that you had in your life, and then general logic questions and hello, hey.
Oh, all right. So since I have not gone through the test myself, I think from what you've explained to me, I do understand that it's sort of a basic test, yes. They really just need to check if you're fluent with communication, right? Because they
Yes,
don't want you to go through
exactly.
trouble when you're moving abroad. So as students, I think the one very interesting and convincing thing for me was when you said MCQs. They are so safe.
Yes,
I mean,
they are.
I think ever since I started taking exams in my early ages, MCQs, multiple choice questions, are my topmost favorite because you do have 4 answers. One of them is going to be right. You just have to, think. So
Pick
at
the
least
right
even if you
one.
don't know the answers, if you take just randomly 4 of them, one of them is going to be correct, right?
It is, it
It's
is.
so much fun. But all right, so how many, roughly an estimate, how many students have you been training for IELTS specifically so far?
Well, I've lost my count.
Oh,
I've
okay.
been doing it for 9 years, so I really have lost the count.
And a very funny thing I have to add over here, my producer said, since we're talking about MCQs, I think when they want to make it confusing, they're almost like twins and,
Yes.
quadruplets because all of the answers are so same, you really don't know what to pick. But yes, I think this is where you have to be smart as well.
Yes,
So, all right, you've been training a lot of students, but what is like the most common query they have, or let's say the most common issue they face during IELTS?
Well, right now it is IELTS writing, because
Okay.
most of the people, they have not written for a test for a very long time. Most
Yeah.
of the professional, they have done their degrees like for 3-4 years back, and then when they come to me, they say that for 4 years we haven't written anything, and now we have to do IELTS writing. So IELTS
Right.
writing is the most challenging module right now.
Or the essay writing, right?
Yes, the essay writing module.
Okay, okay. But I mean, that is just for checking your sort of IQ and your creativity. I mean, there's no right or wrong answer, is it? when you're talking
not
about
exactly right or wrong, but there is a specific format that they
Okay.
look for. There is an IELTS format in which you have to introduce the question, then you have to go through the discussion, and at the end you have to conclude it. You have to use appropriate vocabulary.
Okay.
And while you get nervous, it many a times happens that your natural flow of communication is disrupted.
That's so true.
Yes.
Does it happen to you though? Although you're a linguist now, does it happen?
Well, I've taken the test so many times
Oh,
that now I can do it in my sleep. But
Oh, perfect.
when I took it for the first time, like 9 years ago, I
Yeah.
think maybe, yes, I had to work a lot about it.
Oh, right. So what is the validity of the test? So if I take IELTS, for how many months or years will this be valid for me to apply anywhere?
It is valid for 2 years
Okay.
currently.
Okay, 2 years.
This also might change, but right now it hasn't. It is valid for 2 years.
All right. And when we're talking about the marking system of it, how does that go?
Well, that's a little complicated because it's very different from the way our general English language courses at universities or schools are marked.
Okay. Okay.
So they mark you on 4 basic criteria. Number 1 is your grammar, of course, that
Okay.
it is grammatically correct. Then comes appropriacy, that whatever you are saying in the context, whether it is valid or not. Then comes your vocabulary, whether it is appropriate or not.
Okay.
And the most important is coherence and cohesion.
Right.
That is a little bit complicated for most of the people. Cohesion is using grammatical indicators to show that your speech is in a flow, signposting, like
right.
making people realize this is the opening, now we are discussing, now we are coming towards the end through grammatical cues. That is cohesion.
Okay.
And coherence is being relevant to the topic.
Right,
For example,
right.
if the question is about apples, so don't forget to talk about apples.
Right. I mean, no one's here to listen about strawberries. It's literally
Yes.
about apples. All right. So we get marked out of 10, is it?
It's a band, but it's a 9 band, right?
Okay.
As soon as you appear in the test, you are on band 1, right?
Okay.
If you do not take the test, then you are on band 0.
Okay.
But then obviously you're marked absent as well. So there is no pass and fail because everybody does have a basic language criteria.
Right.
Most of the universities abroad accept a band 6.5
Or above, right.
or above.
Okay,
yes.
perfect. So 6.5. Is it now, roughly speaking, again, because I know, because I've been meeting a lot of South Asians other than Pakistanis as well, I feel like Pakistani's English is way too much better than a lot of South Asians I know. Well, that's good for us, right? So do you think that a person who is appearing for the first time is probably going to score more than 6.5? Is it easier relatively?
It was, but now test anxiety has increased a lot in people.
I
I
know.
don't know what's the reason, but back in the day when I started, it was quite easy. People easily achieved band 7.
Okay.
But recently, it has become difficult for people to score a consistent band 7 in all the 4 modules.
Okay, I'll be honest, Sana, you know, if I were a student, well, I am still a student, first of all, I'm doing a master's, but if I were to apply abroad and, you know, go through IELTS, first of all, I'm a student, I'm not earning, I'm dependent on my parents as well, of course. So to, you know, collect and then pay 29,000 for one test, which you may or may not get accepted for,
Yes.
I think it's a huge pressure, isn't it?
It is, it is.
And that might even make you do worse on the test.
Yes, it can. I think that can be one of the reasons because you've
Right.
paid so much for the test, and also you get so much anxiety that the things which are really simple and you can do with closed eyes in your real life, in test you forget those things. Yes,
Oh,
it
that's
does happen.
unfortunate.
Test pressure.
Right,
Yes.
it's a real thing actually,
is a
right? A
real
lot of
thing.
students can relate to it as well. But now, Sana, you know, other than IELTS, there are 1 or 2 other tests as well that do get recognized all around the world. So, first of all, what is the difference and what should one go for if they're generally applying for a degree abroad?
Well, yes, there are a few other tests. First thing is that you should ask your university or the organization you are going to work with which other tests do they accept.
Okay.
There is also PTE, Pearson's test, and there is also TOEFL.
Yeah.
TOEIC is for teaching.
Okay.
But yes, there are a few other tests that you can take if any organization accepts it. But all these tests, they judge the same for language skills.
All right, all right.
So they're not, preparing for any of them will not be different from preparing for IELTS. I mean,
Oh, okay,
the
that's-
structure is hardly any different.
It's not really different, right?
Yeah,
but I think
it's
you
not.
very rightly mentioned that it really depends on the university, what they
You're
require as
choosing.
well. So if you are going to apply for any university outside Pakistan, just make sure you check on the website what they require as a test, as the basics of the test, and then you can go through it. It's really not that hard. I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of you people out there are really smart and you can make it in the first time as well. But towards the end, Sana, before we wrap up the segment, I want to talk about your language house. Please let me know about your company, how it started, and what are the services that you're providing.
Okay. Well, I was a government teacher before this, and I found the environment slightly slow for my capabilities because I couldn't change the syllabus and I couldn't experiment with the language. So I resigned and I became a full-time company holder of my own. And at Language House, we offered a variety of different courses which start from basic English or everyday communication, dealing with conversations.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
we have a course called Conversation.
Wow.
And then we move on to business and organizational communication. And the top courses are language and conflict resolution and language and power relations. So these are the higher courses which are complex.
Wow, that's very interesting. And in the near future, do you venture on sort of adding more languages to your company as well? Like you said, you studied Arabic too.
Yes, we do.
All
We do
right.
plan to add more languages because languages multiply your intelligence.
Of course, yes.
So I think that we need to. And also language is, I think, the only thing that can bring the world together. It is the thought
language.
process,
Absolutely,
basically.
thought process too. And when I think you very rightly mentioned languages as well, ladies and gentlemen, because imagine for yourself to go in a part of the world or even in parts of Pakistan, it does happen, Sana. I think because I've never been to Sindh, in all honesty. Well, I've been to Sakhar, not Karachi, to be honest. And if I were to interact with Sindhis, I wouldn't understand Sindhi. It's faulty at my part. I'm totally confessing it. I mean, I should know the basics, right?
Yes.
So I think language is what makes you communicate with all the people around you as well. But thank you so much for being here, Sana Khattak. You were such a good help for all the people out there watching too. This is a camera. Just take a minute to sort of inspire all the students out there who are looking to appear in IELTS this year, how to go about it. Please go on.
Okay, well, hello students. The first thing I would like to say to you all is please maintain your confidence level. You can do it. There is no need to be nervous about just this test. Okay, you have been learning English ever since you were in like prep class or starting the school. So there is no need to be nervous about it right now. But yes, it's an expensive test. I'll recommend all of you to prepare for it. There are books available, a recognized book from University of Cambridge that you can use to prepare for it. And yeah, for any test, not just for IELTS, for any test that you have in your life, it's really good to be prepared for it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for saying that. Thank you so much for being here. Ladies and gentlemen, this was Sana Khattak, and we were speaking about IELTS, the test, and we were actually letting you know how to go about it. Right now, we're heading out to a very short break, but when we come back, we will have someone who actually appeared in the test, passed it, and then went abroad to study and now is working there. So stay tuned if you want to find out what your future may look like. Good morning. Welcome back to Well This Morning, ladies and gentlemen, with Shiza Hashmi on a very informative morning. Well, I always say that because, again, P2E is where we educate you. And today we actually picked up a topic that is going to be helpful to so many people out there. Be you a student, be you someone who's going to work abroad, be you someone who's going to join your family abroad, migration, anything. Ladies and gentlemen, we're speaking about IELTS, the test that you need to pass in order to apply for work, in order to apply for universities, or generally even to get a visa to go abroad. In the first segment, we told you all about it, how to prepare, what you need, the criteria and everything. And I promised you right now we're going to be in conversation with someone who actually took the test, passed it, and has been studying and working, abroad ever since. This person is Aziz Rahman, ladies and gentlemen, a lecturer now. He happens to be an international admissions consultant as well in the Budapest Metropolitan University. Hello, Aziz. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to my show.
Wa alaikum salam. Thank you so much.
All right, so first of all, it's a pleasure to have you because we love having Pakistanis who are making name for Pakistan. We're so proud of you. Thank you for doing that.
Thank you again. Thank you.
So I'm going to take you back in time when you first time took your IELTS. How many takes did you have first of all? And how was the process?
I took the IELTS first time in 2005.
Okay.
Quite long
Okay,
ago.
not really, it's all right.
But unfortunately, I could not pursue it. I got 6.5 in that, if I remember.
Okay.
But that time, if I remember, it was more like there was a bombing in England. So I was applying for England.
All right,
So the
right.
visas, they closed off, and then I decided, okay, I cannot waste more time. So I did not pursue that at that time. But still, the experience was great. I did prepare for that a lot. And in that case, I would say that students who are applying for the first time, they should make sure that they prepare well. Because it needs practice, plus they need to have an orientation of how the classroom would be.
All right.
I would suggest them to have a conversation with their friends, just take it out, whatever it is. I think your guest before, she already talked extensively about it. But my suggestion would be to concentrate on reading,
Okay.
because I believe that
Which was the hardest part for you though?
yes, I would say that was the hardest part for me. Why it was? Because the time was short,
Okay.
according to my experience, and it was the same second time. I took it again, I think, in 2015.
All right.
Yeah, and I scored pretty good.
Oh, that's amazing,
brag
which is
about
why
it.
you went abroad as well. All right, now we're past the IELTS. Now we're moving on to, you moved to Hungary then, Budapest. You studied there as well?
Yes, I did my MS there
Oh, that's
from the
perfect.
same university, and it was in consulting. And since then, I'm working as a consultant.
So how is it working over there, the experience?
I would say it's pretty great.
Yeah.
To start with, I was the only foreign staff there.
Oh, amazing.
So for me, it was more like, you can say I was spoiled in that case.
But it's such
but
a
I
good
enjoyed
achievement,
it.
mashallah.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. It was pretty good. I could feel that, yes, this is something that I've achieved finally. Yeah.
All right, and now you're a lecturer as well, you already mentioned, and
Yes.
consultant too. When we're talking about Budapest, I think we were talking before the show as well. This happens to be one of my dream destinations. I've never been there. It's on the list. I just cannot wait to go there. So when you went there for the first time, I'm assuming it was your first time ever to go there?
Yes, it was my first
All right.
time.
How did you perceive it? Because of course you expect something and then you go there, you receive something else. How was it for you to settle?
I think I was already abroad. I worked outside the country, so for me it wasn't really difficult
Yeah.
to see it that way. So I was already with the frame of mind that I will be able to adjust there.
Okay.
But yes, the weather depressed me a bit because it was quite gloomy all the time
Oh,
when
right.
because I left the country in Feb. So that time it's more like it's quite gloomy. It's rainy all the time for a month or so. So after that, actually,
It was way better.
way better. Yes.
All right. So I think, Aziz, you're going to agree with me. So for people who have done their bachelor's or, even their earlier studies in Pakistan, and they plan to move abroad for their studies, for the first time, there's a certain, element of restriction and rigidness as well. And there's also this culture shock that you need to go through. And living alone, first of all, even if you're going as a student, I think it's depressing. A lot of my friends, I've been seeing them. Of course, I mean, we're not used to living alone, right? This is not Pakistani culture. So how to get through that?
I would say that, yes, that's a challenge, but that's the benefit of it. You learn to live independently. This is why, if I would make a list of some points that someone can get the benefit out of going outside the country, I would say this should be on the top,
Okay.
in a way, because you learn to live independently. And in that case, the students, I would suggest that if they feel there is some kind of pressure on them,
Yeah.
they should go for the dormitory.
Okay.
Because there are other students as well, they have the same condition as them. They are new, they
Confused.
as well, so sharing the confusion, same space, could help them too. So anywhere outside the country, wherever you travel, I would suggest that if you are a new traveler, it's a good way to begin your journey or studies or work. I think that's very helpful.
It is definitely helpful, and I think on the show we've been speaking about traveling a lot as well, not necessarily probably for academic reasons or for settling there as well, just for the sake of traveling. It, I mean, expands your mind beyond horizons that you don't even know. You just come across so many things, you learn so many cultures and whatnot. So when you went to Budapest for the first time, you were mingling with a lot of cultures as well. Like you mentioned, so many students coming from so many regions. What was the most interesting part for you in terms of cultural exchange?
I would say that for me, the most interesting part was that, you know, we have a lot of stereotypes.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I was able to break
The
those
stereotypes?
stereotypes.
Like, can you name some?
Let's say, I would say that black people, let's
Okay,
say,
yeah.
in that case. So I never really met one. So in that case, I started talking to them. I felt they were much nicer than what I thought. It's the
Right.
same with the people there, the European people as well, how accepting they are, what we see in the media and everything. Like you mentioned that you are afraid of going there because of the safety reasons.
Right.
But as I know, I'm living there for more than 4 years now
Yeah.
almost. I believe it's one of the safest places I've been
Oh,
to.
wow, that's
so
amazing.
really, really good. So these are the kind of things that I think we already have in our minds.
Right.
We don't really have orientation. We don't have a culture of traveling that much either outside the
should, we
country.
should,
should
right.
have it. We are traveling quite a lot within the country, but I think we should have some kind of culture that we could go outside too.
All right.
Yeah.
So let me know about the language that you speak in Budapest and how have you been dealing with it? Did you learn it?
Unfortunately, no. I did learn the basics, but I would say that in that case, it was a bit difficult for me, and it was not needed because I was studying
right.
in an English program. All my friends were international friends, and we were speaking in English. But I will highly, highly, highly suggest anyone who goes outside the country
Yeah.
that they need to learn the language. It's
Right, the
quite helpful.
basics of it at
The
least,
basics of
right?
it, because it's really important. Most of the people there, they cannot speak English, I would say, especially the older ones or in the government department. So in that case, it makes sense to learn it. It's quite helpful as well.
Right, absolutely.
My case is kind of unique, I would say that,
Okay.
because I'm...
You've been lucky.
I've
Let's
been
just
lucky.
say that.
Let's just say that. I've been lucky in that
Yeah.
case. So.
All right, but I think you actually raised a very important point because just before you came here in the first segment as well, we were speaking about how important it is to know the native language because some people like intentionally so will not help you even if they do know English for the reasons they're probably promoting their own language.
Yeah, that could be the reason. And also, they are not confident speaking English as well. This is a second language for them too.
All right, but
So-
I had the worst experience in Turkey, to be honest, with English.
Oh, Turkey. I've been there.
Oh, the
and-
worst.
yeah.
Why so?
I think they are not interested in learning, I would say that.
I agree.
Sorry to say that, but I've been there twice and I've seen no difference. I went there in 2010 once, and then I went in 2017. Actually, this was my third time when I was coming back.
Okay.
So my flight was delayed and
Oh, yeah.
I had to overstay there. So it was same. So it's been 10 years
Yeah.
to be exact, almost now. And it's same.
Turkey isn't changing.
Yeah, it hasn't changed.
But ladies and gentlemen, this was on a lighter note because, of course, we love Turkey. We just saying this
100%.
because there are, I think this is natural. This comes with sort of, I mean, this is nationalism too when you are promoting your country on such a big level that you really don't feel like learning other languages as well. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, we will be taking you to a very interesting trailer of a movie that dates back to all of our childhoods. This is Jumanji, ladies and gentlemen. We grew up watching it. There were literally family weekends that we would all get together, get in bed and watch Jumanji. This is probably the third part, and I'm really excited because we have The Rock, of course, Dwayne Johnson, and Nick Jonas, and if I'm not wrong, there's Kevin Hart as well. Let's take a look at the trailer, and then we come back. We will probably be discussing that too.
Where's the jungle? This is a whole new thing. Nobody told us we had to do a whole new thing.
Okay, something went wrong.
Come on. I'm coming.
Grandpa Eddie, come on in.
Did you guys see Spencer?
Who's that? I think he went back in. We gotta go get him.
You know something? We haven't even picked our guys yet. Are we in Florida?
Oh my God.
Wait. We're in the wrong body! My joints feel like butter.
Oh, no. I feel loose myself.
This can't be happening! I came back and things actually got worse.
Look at this. 1, 2, 3.
We have some issues here. The game is busted.
Listen up now. This is a dangerous place. You got to have eyes in the back of your head.
What in the Sam hell just happened to him?
What the hell is this? Would you look at me? I haven't looked like this since...
Never. You look like this never.
I think my eyes are a different color.
All of you is a different color.
Check this out. Strengths and weaknesses. Linguistics.
Oh, goodness.
Nunchucks. That's new.
Damn, that's a good list. Weaknesses, heat, sun, and sand. How is this guy a character in an adventure game? Man, it is hot out here!
We have to find Spencer and Bethany.
This next adventure is even more challenging. This time, not all of you will leave the game alive.
Bethany thought you might need some help.
Where is Bethany?
She's right here.
She says, oh my God, like I'm a total horse.
Yep, that's Bethany.
Hey.
You are a terrible driver.
What are you talking about? I just passed my driver's test last month again. We're not going to make it. We're going to make it. I don't think we're going to make it. We're going to make it. We're not going to make it.
Jumanji, the next level for you, ladies and gentlemen. I haven't watched it yet. It seems to be really interesting and funny. If you do, write to me to let me know how it was. So maybe then I can decide better. All right, Aziza Rahman, towards the end of the segment, first of all, I want you to let us know how important do you think it is for cultural exchanges between specifically Hungary and Pakistan to enhance?
I believe that cultural exchange is important with any other country as well, any country.
And now
that
you
we-
are an ambassador of Pakistan in Hungary as well. Let's believe that. Of course, it's
Yeah.
such a big responsibility.
So actually, whoever leaves the country, he's an ambassador to the country, and that's my belief. And
Okay.
people would judge, I would say, or make a stereotype of how you act there.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Even if it's just short trip, sometimes it's just one experience for them, and that stays with them. So you have to behave in a way that shows the right image of your country.
Absolutely.
What was your question again?
Cultural exchange, how
Oh,
important
yeah,
it is.
the cultural exchange. As being a Pakistani or from a country like Pakistan, it's really, really important in a way that we have a very bad image outside. People believe that the culture here is quite closed off. But even for us, there are so many regions and there is so much culture that you cannot define the country with one culture.
Absolutely,
So
you're so
you
right.
really have to, I would say that don't leave your culture, but please be acceptable to the other cultures as well. And that's the key to it. So listen as well and try to exchange the ideas and whatever is happening in your country in a positive way.
Right, thank you so much for saying that. And like a lot of people, I think you very rightly mentioned that we tend to stereotype on the basis of just one example.
Exactly.
We tend to generalize, right? And it's so common. It's not just some people. I mean, we can't really say some people are the bad segments of the society, even us. If I were to meet, let's say, an American and to be in conversation with them, for some reason, because of the latest situations, I'll be like, oh, he is a Republican, I just hate Americans, whatnot, you know what I'm talking about. But not all of them are going to be alike. I mean, likewise with
100%.
Indians as well, right?
100%.
So just be sure not to generalize, as long as, I mean, you should really find out stuff about them, learn about their culture, be acceptive, and that is when you will grow, I mean, through your mind as well, your personality will grow. Thank you so much for being here, Azizur Rahman. Just very quickly towards the end, for all the youth out there, convince them to, I mean, grow like you did.
I would say that everyone has something to offer to the world. So if you are planning to go outside the country, that's a very good decision. It's a decision that would change your life, and you must take a step that makes you proud and your family proud as well. So I wish everyone good luck, and hopefully when you go outside, you will keep this thing in your mind that you are an ambassador to the country and you represent the country, and you should represent it in a very, very positive way.
Wow,
Thank
very
you so much.
beautifully said. Thank you so much, Azizur Rahman, for being here, for being on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, we spoke about, of course, the IELTS test and then how to actually represent yourself. Like Aziz very rightly said, you are sort of portraying the image of your country. You are the ambassador naturally whenever you go, wherever you go abroad. So for all the students out there, if you are applying in the upcoming session, in the upcoming semester, all the best of luck to you. I really hope you make it through for whatever is good for you. I mean, if it's not, it's okay. If it is good for you, I really hope you get it. My prayers are with you. So if you did learn something from my show, please write to me to let me know on my Facebook page with the name of World This Morning. We are also on Twitter with the name of World This Morning without a G. Also Daily Motion on YouTube with the same name, World This Morning. And the repeat you can catch at 11 p.m. tonight. Till the next time, take care. Good morning.